MUN? MUN होता क्या है? MUN कौन लाइक पार्टिसिपेट कर सकता है? क्या कोई एज क्राइटेरिया या एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया होता है?
I started doing youth parliaments in class 8. Right?
तो बेसिकली कुछ ऐसे पर्टिकुलर रिसोर्सेज की बुक्स हो या कुछ भी हो जहाँ से हम MUNs के बारे में डेलीगेट्स ज्यादा नॉलेज ले सकें.
If you want to know the art of doing MUNs and YPs, there is no specific thing like okay, you need to speak in this particular format.
तो आप एक्सपीरियंस में कि आप स्कूल में गए and you have felt that कि यार this is not fair. ये तो bias स्कूल है.
But through debates, I was not able to gain the same insight that I gained through MUNs.
तो criticism भी उसके साथ-साथ आया है.
Getting into Harvard College actually demotivated me a lot.
So hello everybody, namaste, welcome to our podcast, season 1 episode 2 of Abhivyakti.
Yo, microphone check, we get a microphone check, give it a microphone, I make the microphone dead. Don't step to me newbie, I can truly be moody.
Namaste, this is your podcaster Nitya Sharma for today, and आज के हमारे guest हैं an MUN expert, brilliant debater and Gandhi Study Circle, जो कि हमारे आर्यभट्ट कॉलेज में एक सोसाइटी है, उसकी सेक्रेटरी. So hi Ranjan, how are you?
Thank you, Nitya. Just a small correction. My name is Swayam Ranjan.
Okay.
And I really appreciate you inviting me here. I can only hope to live up to your expectation. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you. So basically आज का जो हमारा पॉडकास्ट है MUN, जो कि आपने टाइटल से ऑलरेडी पढ़ ही लिया होगा, तो पूरा पॉडकास्ट इसी के अराउंड रिवॉल्व करने वाला है. What is MUN? MUN होता क्या है? MUN कैसे वर्क करता है? MUN का फॉर्मेट क्या होता है? So बेसिकली आप मुझे, मेरी ऑडियंस को, हम सबको जानना है MUN होता क्या है. What is Model United Nations?
Right. बहुत लोग I will start with बहुत लोग actually differ कर जाते हैं कि debates are totally different things and MUNs are different, right? However, I think MUNs are part of debate. It is under the ambit of debate, right? Model United Nation, if you break the word, so it itself says that it's a model simulation of the United Nations. We have all heard about the United Nations, what's its function, and its basic function is actually to promote peace, right? I'll just take a small example. We are seeing the Russia-Ukraine war, Israel-Palestine, right? There's a civil war in South Sudan. UN is continuously working to resolve these conflicts through peaceful resolutions, right? The same thing we do in MUN. And that is where I think the diplomatic skills, the communication skills, and your critical thinking approach actually comes into play. So MUNs are a mock simulation of the United Nations, which promotes how beautiful you can think, how beautiful how beautifully you can promote peace, and just not that. MUNs are actually divided into two parts. So first is the international committee and the second is the Indian committee. Indian committees, according to me, are much more fun, right? Because there are committees like All India Political Parties meet, in which you discuss about the domestic issues. Like 25th November से हमारे यहाँ अभी शीतकालीन सत्र स्टार्ट होने वाला है संसद में, तो UCC के ऊपर चर्चा चल रही है, रिफॉर्म सिविल कोड के ऊपर चर्चा चल रही है कि रिफॉर्म सिविल कोड शायद आ सकता है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी लेड एनडीए गवर्नमेंट उसे ला सकती है. हालांकि इसी टॉपिक को अगर हम AIPPM में डिस्कस करें तो हमें पता चलेगा कि यूसीसी के लिए चैलेंजेस क्या क्या है. गोवा में ऑलरेडी यूसीसी इंप्लीमेंटेड है, उत्तराखंड में ऑलरेडी यूसीसी इंप्लीमेंटेड है, बट उसकी चैलेंजेस ओवरऑल क्या क्या है ये हमें MUN सिखाता है. और किसी भी इशू पे, कोई भी कंटेम्परेरी इशू हो, तो उस पे एक ब्रॉडर थिंकिंग, हमने न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ा, हमें पता चला कि उस पर्टिकुलर इशू पे हमारी थिंकिंग क्या है, हमारा पर्सपेक्टिव क्या बन सकता है. लेकिन MUN हमें बताता है कि उसके प्रोज एंड कॉन्स क्या है, क्योंकि समटाइम यू विल बी स्पीकिंग फॉर द मोशन, समटाइम्स यू विल बी स्पीकिंग अगेंस्ट द एजेंडा, राइट? सो MUN, I think in that particular way enhances your broader thinking in a way.
Okay, like it was really interesting and काफी सारी चीजें आपने MUN के बारे में बताई. तो like okay, MUN कौन लाइक पार्टिसिपेट कर सकता है? क्या कोई एज क्राइटेरिया या एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया होता है कि ये पर्टिकुलर पीपल कर सकते हैं या नहीं कर सकते? कैसे होता है?
Right. We have to understand that first of all, MUN is for everyone. I have chaired committees where I have seen students from class 4th debating against a college level student, and I'm not even joking here. So MUNs are open for all. However, there are some restrictions that like कुछ school MUNs होते हैं, institutional MUNs होते हैं, तो वहाँ पे basically क्या होता है कि कॉलेज लेवल कॉम्पिटिटर्स जो आते हैं उसे अवॉइड करने के लिए और कंपटीशन लेवल फेयर हो तो स्कूल लेवल एमयूएंस में केवल 12th तक के स्टूडेंट्स अलाउड होते हैं. However, there are some very famous MUNs. संसद करके एक MUN होता है. It's a youth parliament actually. It's conducted by the Indian Youth Congress. Right? हर साल होता है. अप्रैल के महीने में होता है. It's open for all. IT Delhi, it's open for all. EAMS Delhi, it's open for all. Right? These are some of the very big MUNs. There are some private MUNs. Altara MUN, open for all. Numis Summit, open for all. So I don't think there is a an age restriction out here. Only there are some specific school MUNs to avoid मतलब unfair competition. They restrict the participation of age to ideally 18 years or maybe class 12. That's it.
Okay. Like अब आपने बोला क्लास स्कूल्स की बात एंड फेयरनेस की बात आई तो as I have also participated in MUNs तो कई बार स्कूल्स में होता है कि एक बायसनेस होती है
Right.
कुछ लोगों के लिए be it their students only कि लाइक ऐसा कभी आपके साथ एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है कि आप किसी स्कूल में गए एंड यू हैव फेल्ट दैट कि यार दिस इज नॉट फेयर ये तो बायस स्कूल है लाइक कुछ ऐसा हुआ है
While you were speaking, I felt nostalgic when you said कि ऐसा bias कभी हुआ है. Not really. I mean, bias in the sense, yes. 2-3 बार ऐसे instances हुए हैं. I have debated in MUNs like over 70-75 times. But 2-3 instances ऐसे हुए जिसमें I thought कि the award could have been better, but like second position या third position आया उसमें. तो I felt कि bias कहीं ना कहीं it's in human nature. Though I don't think कि everywhere it's again not going against the debating format or the conventional debate or any APD or any such thing, but one basic or very important thing in MUNs are that it's very transparent. Because you just don't have to give a speech and then say. You have to continuously engage in the committee. You have to put in your dominance. And dominance सबको दिखेगा. सिर्फ एक को नहीं दिखेगा, dominance सबको दिखेगा. तो at the end, even the committee knows कि अगर one-sided committee, even the committee knows कि किसको award मिलने वाला है. So one instance, I will tell you a story. One instance, I was debating in one of the schools in Noida.
Okay.
I won't take the name.
Sure.
The chair of that particular committee, we had some type of it from the start. I went into this committee. I debated. I still remember the topic was Article 90, freedom of speech and expression. Right. I was debating and I gave everything. I did the verbatim. I asked questions. I even gave POs. I will explain what is point of order later on. And then afterwards, the committee was like, okay, you are going to win the best delegate award. The results came in. I won the high commendation award. Quite disappointed at that time because the person who actually won the best delegate award, I sort of defeated him in an argument when we were actually having an argument through POIs. So there was bias, and at the end, you will find this very common in MUNs. Then when you go and attend and ask the chair कि कहाँ गलती हुई, so they will be like your analysis was wrong. And they will never tell कि where the analysis was wrong. There are a lot of instances जहाँ पे chair को ये नहीं पता होता कि verbatim किस चीज के ऊपर थी. So there are some MUNs जहाँ पे chair की quality बहुत अच्छी नहीं रही तो वहाँ पे bias होने के chances है. हालांकि ऐसे कई MUNs हैं, just I mentioned Sansal, high quality chair. IIT Delhi, high quality chair. So these are some events where you will find no bias. There cannot be any bias, right? And even some of the very famous chairs in the Indian circuit. So there is a whole circuit, right? It's the most famous circuit overall in India. So some of the chairs of Delhi circuit, they are exceptionally well, and they really don't get into doing bias because that will definitely have their reputation because they chair all over India. So you will find in some.
And they don't give you valid reasons to validate your,
Exactly. I mean, I went to him. I asked him. I will tell you this thing. I went to him. I asked him why. He said the analysis was missing. I said where. He said when you mentioned about Article 19 of the Constitution, you should have mentioned about the reasonable restriction. I said I think I mentioned Article 19 plus 2. So he was like, what is that? I said that is a reasonable restriction. Oh, that's my fault. I missed out on it. And once the results are declared, the results are generally not changed, right? So I said, how you are saying that your analysis was missing? So just to cover up, he said, analysis was missing. Let's end the debate. Analysis was missing. I was again like, kaha missing tha? I have to leave. Analysis was missing. So end of the debate. So you will find some bias. Indian circuit is not totally biased.
Happens.
Somewhere it happens.
I think biasness is everywhere.
It
Be it in the
is.
schools or university.
It is.
Okay, so you mentioned POIs.
Right.
And if I'm not wrong, correct me if I am. कि POIs and chits कुछ similar है, मतलब कुछ एक same उसके अंदर आते हैं, head के अंदर.
Okay, so POIs are of two types. You can ask a verbal POI. A POI, first of all, it stands for point of information. You can ask a verbal POI and you can ask a POI through chits. In case the chair does not give you the opportunity to ask a POI through verbally, so then you have to write a chit. POI is simply a sophisticated language adopted by the MUNers to ask questions. It's simply a question. People justify POI that you are seeking information from the speech. Like I gave a 90-second speech, right? So something I said, and just suppose I said something on Article 25, right to religion. Professed religion. So the other person will ask a POI, right? Seeking some information from that particular point itself. You gave this particular speech, so you mentioned this particular case law. How does it exactly relate, or whatever question it might be, right? One is that. Suppose the chair does not give me the opportunity to ask any question. The chair asks me, okay, you can write a chit. So I will write a chit asking that particular question. Generally in MUNs, writing a chit instead of asking questions verbally is marked less than asking questions verbally, because there's a very famous saying in MUNs that this is not an essay writing competition that you will write chits out here. So you have to speak. So that is how the POI system works.
Oh my god, it is really interesting. Like I am sure हमारी audience इसको बहुत ही willingly समझी होगी. सेकंड चीज मैंने एक और चीज लाइक एमयूएन से रिलेटेड सुना था कि क्राइसिस कमेटी व्हाट इज इट लाइक ऑडियंस को बताओ मुझे बताओ व्हाट इज क्राइसिस कमेटी.
I would say it's a new concept. Generally in the time of COVID, I started doing MUNs in Delhi since the time I think it was 2021. So since COVID actually hit India, and then afterwards we all went into lockdown, MUN shifted to online mode, right? All the debating platforms, all the competitions, shifted to online mode. Except IPO. MUN shifted to online mode, and there came the concept of crisis. Was there before as well, but there came the concept of crisis. In case you remember, in 2022, Russia attacked Ukraine. They invaded Ukraine, and there was this. There will be a crisis coming. Right. There will be a crisis committee. So there will be one US Security Council committee. The US Security Council will get in and they will discuss about the crisis, what they are to do with that. Then similarly, one more thing. One crisis committee came up with the Prime Minister's office in India. War cabinet. All these things. So what basically is a crisis committee is that a crisis committee is something in which you are in the crisis and the meeting is going on. And the crises are coming, like again and again you are getting an update. Okay, this particular country attacked here, the bomb was dropped here, and you have to react to that situation. So it's more of an impulsive thing. It's more of how prompt you can be on that situation, and how valid solutions, what valid solutions you can actually give in that particular situation. So those are the crisis committee. However, one thing into the crisis committee is that it's very, I would say, subjective when it comes to the terms of marking, because you really don't know what the criteria of the markings are, right? Sometimes the chair marks on how well you presented your solution. Sometimes they mark on how well you manage the pressure. So it differs. However, crisis committee are good for those who have great military knowledge. I will add on the point later on that why MUNs, are very different, even different from debates, but under the category of debates, right? So those have military knowledge, those who have intelligence knowledge, those who know about the research intelligence units of different countries in the world. I think they excel in crisis committee generally, and who can think very impulsively. so they can excel in crisis
Okay.
committees. Yeah.
Nice. Like, okay, we got to know a lot of things. तो अभी हमने थोड़े पहले biases की बात करी थी.
Right.
तो ऐसा भी होता है कि chairperson जो बैठा है वो एक particular country के लिए bias है.
Hmm.
Not for the student but for the country.
Okay.
तो वो उसी को जितवाने के लिए उसी को जितवाने के लिए चीजें करता है एंड उसी को ज्यादा मानते हैं. ऐसा भी हुआ है आपके साथ?
Not really. I mean, I don't think कि country specific bias होती है.
Because reality grounds पे like जैसे कोई चेयरपर्सन है तो उसको कोई कंट्री इन जनरल उसके लिए बायस है कि यार अच्छा फॉर एग्जांपल इंडिया कोई इंडिया से है तो वो कुछ ज्यादा उसको इंडिया से पेट्रियोटिज्म वाली फीलिंग है कि यार इंडिया जैसे भी हुआ है.
No, I will be very honest and I will be very blunt out here that the bias in Indian circuit, especially in Delhi circuit, is not done on the basis of countries.
Okay.
It is done on a lobby basis.
All right.
This can come when the podcast gets released and if some MUN actually get involved into this. So, but it's a big kind of not even whistle blow because everyone in the Delhi circuit knows this thing that there are certain lobbies working in the Delhi circuit. If you belong to that particular lobby, the chair is of that very same lobby, you win that particular committee.
Okay.
But the committee bias is not done on country. So just in case, just suppose I have a Ranjan lobby. I'm no more active in Indians actually. But just suppose I have a Ranjan lobby. You belong to that particular lobby. You come into my committee. I was the chair there. I gave you the best idea. No matter if the other person coming is of this much more caliber than you, or much more merit than you, or even spoke really well, very better than you, I will give the award for you. That is how the lobby system works, and it's one of the I think weak links of MUNs. One of the negative sides of MUNs that sometimes awards are pre-decided.
It is. Right? That is what bias is.
So this thing is like of a weak link for MUNs. Not to take any names, but there are a lot of lobbies working in this circuit, and majorly 4 or 5 lobbies.
Okay.
So you have to be aware that okay, this particular committee does not belong to anyone. The chair is unbiased. Then you can go in that particular committee, and definitely you will learn a lot of things. Even in the biased committee, you learn a lot of things. But yeah, at the end, you just have to face a slight disappointment when it comes to work.
And that is what students hate. Like everybody
Right.
hates कि कौन
Right.
चाहता है कि उसको ऐसे biasness मिले, right?
Exactly.
Everybody works really hard for their intents.
Yeah.
So okay, like बहुत सारी इतनी सारी चीजें क्यूरियोसिटी से बढ़ती जा रही है कि यार इतनी सारी चीजें हैं. तो एक क्वेश्चन मेरा और है कि like आप जैसे being a debater and being an MUN expert, I think दो चीजें जो common है, that is communication skills and the confidence. तो ये चीजें आपने कैसे डेवलप करी बाय द टाइम? कुछ चाइल्डहुड का ऐसा कोई स्टोरी है दैट हैज शेप्ड यू कि जो आप अभी हो?
Okay, I don't think that I have some this turning point in my life. Okay, I got shaped into a speaker. To be humble, only a speaker. But I think I started doing youth parliaments in class 8 itself. I was very much interested into politics. So a lot of people don't believe this generally, but I'm interested into politics since class 4.
Okay.
So I belong to Bihar.
Okay.
Politics runs in our blood, and I am into politics since class 4. So I still remember in class 4th only, it was the Lok Sabha elections, right? So I literally watched every Lok Sabha election. Okay, this, and through politics only, I think I have inculcated the art of public speaking. To be very much honest, there are 2-3 particular personalities from whom I am very inspired from their public speaking. The first one is Professor Manoj Kumar Jha.
Okay.
And any aspiring public speaker, I would say, should definitely watch one video of Professor Manoj Kumar Jha, his remarks on COVID.
Sure.
Exceptional speech. You will know how you need to communicate your emotions. And at that time, Manoj Kumar Jha was not speaking from a specific party. He belonged to the Rashtriya Janata Dal. He was not speaking from a particular party. He was speaking for the nation at that time. Right? Second, I think, second inspiration that I draw from is the recent president-elect of United States, Donald Trump. a lot of people again question me, why do you seek inspiration from Donald Trump? So if you see, he has humor. He knows how to engage the public, right? Barack Obama, everyone must have saw that video, Barack Obama and Donald Trump comparison of killing a particular terrorist, right? So when Barack Obama was addressing the nation, his way of communication was very formal. He definitely engaged. Definitely, he was the president. So he was an exceptional public speaker. But how Donald Trump actually engaged with the public? It's funny. It's humorous. So that is how you engage a particular audience. Until unless you are just speaking and you're just giving a lecture,
everybody will get bored.
Everybody will get bored. So you need to be humorous. And the third, I think it will be definitely Tejasvi Surya sir. Huge inspiration from Tejasvi Surya sir. Recently, I had the opportunity of working with Tejasvi Surya sir. So I gained some insights from Tejasvi Surya sir. How to speak, a very powerful youth leader. And the way he delivers is exceptionally well. There's passion in it. So these are the three things, the three persons.
Inspirations, basically.
Yes, and coming back to how I got into the public speaking. So from 8 I have been doing in parliaments. Then the major time came when it was class 10. I shifted to Noida from Patna, and I was in Delhi Public School, Greater Noida. So I started doing MUNs there because the concept of MUN is very much popular in Delhi Public School, Greater Noida. It's very much popular in almost every school in Delhi. Right, so I started doing MUNs and started doing YPs. I got awards. Every competition that I went in, very humbly, but I started to win awards. Then in class 11, I was made the Secretary General of our MUN Society. Okay. Right, so earlier it was a trend you will be becoming Secretary General in 12th. I kind of broke that trend and I became in 11th. So that actually instilled a lot of confidence in me. Then in 12th, I became the Chief Advisor. I was the Deputy Parliamentary Secretary as well of the school. So these things actually instilled confidence in me. And I think lastly, a major thing that instilled a lot more confidence in me was working with two particular people. I was working with Bhubaneswar Kalita sir. He's a member of parliament. Okay. Got to learn a lot from him, and actually it instilled a lot of confidence because you learned how to communicate diplomatically. And second was working with the Vice President of India. So even in that particular way, I interacted with a lot of officers. They told me how to communicate with people and how to keep your thing. So those were two life-changing instances, I would say, in my life. Just when I worked into public speaking.
Okay, that is so interesting. Fourth class का बच्चा politics के मतलब लोकसभा के election देख रहे हैं. It is very interesting. तो आपने validate कर दिया कि आपने political science honors क्यों लिया?
But political science honors is just not like that. To all the people who might be hearing this, who are not yet into college, it is not like that. It's really not into politics. Okay.
मतलब you कभी से thought आया as you told कि आप politics में कुछ ज़्यादा interested हो कि आपको elections में जाने का मन या कुछ भी?
Okay, I don't have a political background. So I don't really think that I don't know. मतलब आगे जो भी होगा वो ईश्वर की इच्छा होगी. But I have plans. But let's see how things go.
So if you get an opportunity to stand in election, you would grab that opportunity.
Depends. I mean, depends. I can't really comment on this particular thing. Let's see how things go.
It will look for the best. And okay, like this was so interesting. The fourth class ka bachcha is seeing Lok Sabha elections, like very inspiring to all those people who want to go into this thing of political science honors या MUNs के अंदर. तो as ज़्यादातर youth ही जाता है basically, right? तो क्या आपके ऐसा tips and tricks दोगे उनको? या कुछ ऐसी चीजें जो बच्चों को करनी चाहिए MUNs में अच्छा बनने के लिए, like to be the best delegate.
Okay. One thing that I will first clarify and then I will come to your question is that why one needs to win. Okay. Because understand one thing, in conventional debate in APDs, I have nothing against these particular format. But in MUNs, you don't debate on abstract topics like the house believes that beauty products should be banned.
No.
So
it was on the real things that are happening in the world.
it gives you a lot more knowledge than any other debating platform, any other debating format.
Agreed.
I will give you one instance. I have been a debater. I have been a MUN. The major thing that I feel between them both is that through MUNs I actually gained knowledge along with my speaking skills. I won't say that debates are bad, right? But through debates I was not able to gain the same insight that I gained through MUNs. I will give you an example. So you just understand that you have to speak on a particular topic. I was speaking on cyber terrorism, cyber security and cyber terrorism. I learned a lot of many things in what is Budapest Convention, what is ICCPR, right? What is UDHR? These all things which consist in the framework of international law. Then when I shift to Indian committees, when I do MUNs and Indian committees, I get to learn what is the scenario in Indian politics right now. A lot of people, I will tell you this thing. One of the MUNs I was chairing, I asked them a very simple question. It was an audience of class 6 to 8. I asked them a very simple question. Tell me who is the leader of opposition. It was in the previous Lok Sabha, not this Lok Sabha. Who is the leader of opposition? Everyone was like Rahul Gandhi. I said no. Rahul Gandhi is not the leader of opposition. We don't have a leader of opposition because no party has that particular number of seats to get a leader of opposition position. Right? There they learned what is the provision to have a LOP? 52 seats, it's generally 52, 53 seats we should have in the Lok Sabha to be a LOP. Right? There they learned Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is a designated LOP. Rahul Gandhi is not. In this Lok Sabha election, Rahul Gandhi is the LOP. But that particular thing. Similarly, when I talk about what is UCC and all these things, so they will learn what is UCC. You will read a lot many articles if you are an avid newspaper reader. You will read a lot many articles on Hindu, Indian Express, or Indian newspaper about UCC because the government is planning UCC, and all the people sitting in this room in this country, they don't understand the importance of UCC, but it's going to affect your life like nothing else. So MUNs gives you that. And lastly, I would say it's MUN is more of a free debating style. You don't need to speak certain words just like you do in debates to impress the judges. But you just need to maintain that particular flow and give that particular insight. Right? Now, coming to your question, what was your question?
I actually forgot what was my question. I was so interested.
Right. You asked about what tips and tricks I can give.
Tips and tricks you can give to our audience.
Right. First thing, when you start researching about your agenda, whatever your agenda might be, always start with an admissible source in the committee. What is an admissible source in the committee? You cannot quote Wikipedia out there. Okay. You cannot quote any general newspaper. Even the Hindu Indian Express is not a valid source out there. You have to quote something from the government resource. You have to quote something from the international resource. You can quote the government of India. You can quote the government of US if it's an international committee. You can quote any ministry reports, any law commission reports. Not law commission. Generally, in context, it's not admissible. In some committee, it is. So now, when you actually start researching, first thing, admissible sources. Second thing that you need to be sure about is that you're not exceeding the time. When you prepare your speech, you're not exceeding the time, the 90-second time. Generally, it's 90 seconds. In some committees, it's 120 seconds as well.
Sorry for interrupting you,
Right.
but जैसे आपने बोला कि जो भी आपके रिसोर्सेज की होती है, तो आजकल के 21st सेंचुरी में सब ChatGPT और गूगल, तो बेसिकली कुछ ऐसे पर्टिकुलर रिसोर्सेज की बुक्स हो या कुछ भी हो जहाँ से हम MUNs के बारे में डेलीगेट्स ज्यादा नॉलेज ले सकते हैं.
I would say there are books as such, but if you actually want to learn about MUNs, you can see that the Ministry of I think Culture and Youth, they conduct a youth parliament every year in the Parliament of India. So there are young delegates representing each state, so you can listen to them. Okay. If you want to know the art of doing MUNs and YPs, there is no specific thing like you need to speak in this particular format only. However, if you actually want to learn about the MUNs and all, there's one video I feel that you can watch on YouTube. That's of again of Sunset Indian Youth Congress.
Mark this person.
No. That particular.
Sanjay is the organization.
Right. So you can definitely watch that particular, any video on that, because they actually post the videos of the speakers who they find exceptionally well. Right. That is one thing. Coming to the tips and tricks again.
You were saying about time.
Right, the time, the 90-second limit. So you don't have to cross the 90-second limit. And very honestly, you just need to give a 15-second introduction. I will be doing the bifurcation in speech. Do a 15-second give it to the introduction about the agenda. Then go ahead with your 25 or 30 seconds for research. You lapsed your 45 seconds, half of your speech, right? Then go with the analysis. 30 seconds analysis.
Okay.
Why do you feel this particular research is? I'll give an example to make it understand simple. Just suppose the topic is about, you're debating about the right to religion, right? Professed religion. I said something about the essential religious practices according to the Schedule 1 case 1954. The Supreme Court actually laid down these guidelines, what constitute essential religious practices. And so according to this, if we see the Supreme Court and the Indian Young Lawyer Association versus the State of Kerala 2019 case, the Sabrimala judgment, it said that women are allowed entry into the Sabrimala temple. Sir, I'd like to differ. Now I give my analysis. Why I differ. So I will quote sir, why I differ, sir, quoting Justice Indhu Malhotra ma'am. She said that Supreme Court should not play anything in the matters of religion until unless it's a very evil practice like sati. And I feel that there is no particular guideline given for essential religious practices. So that is why Supreme Court itself has actually constituted a constitutional bench of 9 judges to overturn the decision of Sabrimala, mostly overturn the judgment of Sabrimala, including the Bora women and the Parsi women. Right. So that will be my analysis. Then in the last 15 seconds, I will be concluding my speech. One important thing while you are concluding the speech is, I think a lot of people actually waste that 15 seconds while quoting any shiny. If it's an Indian committee, you cannot quote anything in the UN committees. So shiny. You don't need to do that. Just conclude your speech in 90 seconds. After that, you want to give a shairi, the chairman 110% give you a 10-15 second extra to quote any shairi you want to quote. Right? That is how you give the speech. And lastly, when you are in the committee, this is pre-committee. When you are in the committee, this advice is generally I give to everyone. Is that a lot of people feel nervous while they are speaking. I think one of the key to public speaking is that you need to close your eyes and you need to just tell yourself for 5 seconds that you know best. No one in this room knows anything else. I know best. But not in an arrogant way, but just know this. And then you will be able to speak like nothing. So I feel that after when you are in committee, you need to dominate just like that. So if you're not dominating in the committee, you will lose. And actually, it matters how much you are again engaged in the committee, how patiently you are listening. Because what happens in CDs? I went to CDs. You gave your speech, you're over with it. Just in case you need to interject, then you listen to the speech. But in MUNs, you need to continuously listen to the speech because you need to engage, because you need to ask questions again and again. The marking is absolute there. The marking is not on the average basis that you can only ask one question. Until as the committee is very big, they're all big. But the marking is absolute, so you have to ask questions again and again. That is how MUN works. And pick the committee that you like, pick the agenda that you like. Don't go into the agenda challenging yourself, okay, I can do this. And you will fail. Because I don't have specialization on issues on United Nations Women or United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. I never go into that committee. I go into the committee of General Assembly. I go into the committee of AITM, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Those are my specialization. I go into that. So just be mindful of that.
Very interesting. I also want to ask one thing that with a lot of success comes a lot of criticism. So I'm sure कि आपने चाहे स्कूल में हो या अपने कॉलेज में कहीं ना कहीं आपने इतनी सारी चीजें you have achieved, तो criticism भी उसके साथ साथ आया ही है. How have you handled it? in a very positive way, क्या उसने आपको कभी कभी अफेक्ट करा इतना ज्यादा नेगेटिवली कि आपने स्टेप बैक करने का सोचा कि यार अब नहीं होगा? क्या ऐसा कभी हुआ?
Yeah, I will just take some time for this question. I'll share a personal experience. It was class 12.
Okay.
I think that is the all-time high I have ever hit in my life. All-time high in the sense I was popular in school. People knew me from class 6 to 12.
Okay.
Teachers knew me. Then came the appointment for the head. Right. I was pretty confident that I will get into that position. Interviews happened. My interview was really fun. According to me, it was really fun. They asked me some political questions, knowing that I have an interest in politics. I gave answers. Results came out. I was not selected into the position of head.
Oh shit.
Then I think something again in November it happened. Quite I was disturbed by that. But some personal incident happened, so I was quite disturbed by that. And then afterwards, I think when these things actually started falling one after another, I thought I was losing confidence. To be honest. Then one thing that I would say, we are shooting in this very college. Getting into Harvard College actually demotivated me a lot.
Demotivated?
I think no one had their first preference as Harvard in their CUT list.
Okay.
Not degrading the college, it's a good college.
It's a good college.
Yeah.
So people were expecting after having a good marks in class 12, so they were expecting that I will get into good college. I didn't. I did. But again,
non-campus is what
non-campus was what was I was targeting. So afterwards, I got into this college.
So आपके टाइम पे भी CUET का था या फिर सीधा मार्क्स?
Yeah. No, CUET, of course, I am from CUET.
How much did you get in CUET?
Let's not talk about it.
Okay.
Then afterwards, I got into this college. I started to appear really, I started to maintain a very low-key profile. So I quit social media. Because I was not ready to accept this. And then afterwards, I started appearing. I won't go into debates. I won't go into MUN. So I started to cut off. But then afterwards, I realized, okay, that's not the only solution that you can have. You need to keep moving from
Acceptance. You have to
it.
accept it.
Yeah. So finally, I accepted this, and then afterwards, I did some MUNs in past, though I've actually cut off from MUNs totally now because of some other personal commitments. But yeah, in debates and all those things. So that was quite a failure, and I will just wrap up my answer with one very important aspect. People can say anything on this, but I think I learn a lot from Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli.
His phase from 2020 to 2022 until he hit a century against Afghanistan. I think a lot to learn, because how you overcome failures and how then you again reach the peak that he did in Cricket World Cup 2023. Again, he is not in a very good form right now, but I think Virat Kohli he actually told all those individuals who are facing failures that you need to keep going, because even in his hard times he used to practice, and he said keep going with the thing. So I learned a lot from him. I try to inculcate a lot of things from Virat Kohli in my own personality, though his level of commitment is unmatched. So that is one thing. If anyone wants to cheer themselves up if they are constantly facing failures, I think one of the best ways they can do is find 2-3 videos of Virat Kohli, watch that, and then you will be all motivated.
Agreed completely. He's a true inspiration.
Exactly.
And to all those people who are failure या अपने lowest points से चल रहे हैं, the only thing that I want to say is कि this is how life has to be. Life बहुत unpredictable होती है, and आपको हर जगह वो चीज नहीं मिल सकती जो आप चाहते हो. हर बार वो चीज आपको नहीं मिल सकती. डेस्टिनी में जो होता है आपको वही मिलेगा. तो just remember one thing, as once a legend said, कि there's a bright light at the end of a dark tunnel. तो अपना हार्ड वर्क करते रहो, अपने कर्मों पे बिलीव करो, एंड अपना बेस्ट दो हर एक जगह. आई एम श्योर यू विल गेट द बेस्ट इन योर लाइफ. सो It was really, really nice talking to you. We are bounded by time. But I didn't want कि चीज़ ऐसे end हो. It is very nice talking to you. And आपसे इतनी सारी बातें करके इतनी सारी चीजें पता चली MUN के बारे में, आपकी पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंसेस के बारे में, जिसने आई एम श्योर काफी लोगों को मोटिवेट करा. आपकी इंस्पिरेशंस आई एम श्योर काफी लोगों के और इंस्पिरेशंस बनने वाले हैं. It was really, really nice talking to you, and I'm we are really grateful and thank you कि आपने busy schedule से लिए हमारे लिए time निकाल के आए. It was a great time with you.
Thank you, Nitya, for actually having me here and actually treating me like I'm a celebrity. I was literally doing nothing at my home as well. So thank you for having me here anyways.
It was a fun conversation though. It was very nice having you.
Thank you.
Thank you.